would require of this Justice Department, as we would expect this committee to require of any Justice Department, a responsive approach to any of our inquiries. It starts with the committee and oversight hearings. We've had an oversight hearing and we'll have more with Merrick Garland. For the last 4 years, unfortunately, in the previous administration, we did not. But I think we are trying to resume our position as the oversight committee, active oversight committee for the Judiciary and the Department of Justice. They have shown some responsiveness. You probably were notified, as I was, that this week one of the things that we've requested, the good time credits rule, is being submitted for approval. It's something that you and I have written to the department about in the past, and they are responding. They are responding to some letters from you and other members, but they can do better. If I see the notes here, I think we covered that.
The chairman's
please.
right on two respects in regard to what Garland told us this week so far, and then you're right in regard to the Trump administration, but probably goes back several administrations.
Yes. Senator Kennedy, did you seek recognition on this topic?
I did, Mr. Chairman. I understand that we want good relations with our friends in the executive branch and that we should be patient. But at some point, patience ceases to be a virtue. I think we've reached that point. This is not a problem with the Democratic administration. It's a problem with the Democratic administration and the Republican administration. We had the same problem when Republicans are heading the executive branch. And what you allow is what will continue. And I don't know how long we've been talking about this. I don't know why we don't take some concrete steps to say, look, we're serious here. Now, I asked last time if we could sit down and talk about what those concrete steps are going to be, and I would reassert that question. But we just keep giving away our power. We talked about it yesterday. You know, we've given away our power on courts of appeal nominations. And now we're giving away our power just to have our questions answered. You know, sometimes when people act like they don't care, it's not an act. And I don't think, it's not just true of this Justice Department, prior Justice Departments. Their attitude is, look, we're busy, we're important, and if you're upset by that, call somebody who cares. We'll get around to you when we can. And I don't think that's appropriate.
Thank you, Senator Kennedy, and I respect the fact that you have noted that this is a problem not unique to this administration. And it is a reflection of the role and the reputation of this committee, which is the point I tried to make early on when we started last year. I want to restore as best I can, working with Senator Grassley, the reputation of this committee being serious-minded and usually in the midst of the issues of our time. I think that role has been diminished and should not be. It should be enhanced, and it's our responsibility to do it. I will say that there has been a marginal improvement, a response to a limited degree from the Department of Justice. They can do better. And I'm going to try my best to encourage them to demonstrate that in ways that we can point to, specific responses that we can point to in that regard.
Mr. Chairman.
Well, Mr. Chairman, if I could just quickly, and I appreciate that, and I want to be tactful, and I want to be patient, but we have been. And let me say it again. It's not just this administration. It was the prior administration, and the prior administration, and the prior administration. And I just think it's time that we meet as a body and say, okay, what are we going to do about this? And I'm there. I sense that not everybody is, but I'm there. And I'd ask you to call a special meeting where we could at least talk about what we intend to do here.
I think by constitutional design, Article 2 branch of government is an irritant to Article 1, perhaps to Article 3 as well, and that's the way it's supposed to be. And if we are not that irritant, then we are not doing our job. So I certainly stand behind your remarks. It's a bipartisan challenge. Senator Whitehouse.
If I could just add a bipartisan hue to this, because we continue to have all sorts of troubles getting information out of particularly the FBI. I'll give an example. We've been trying to get the tip line protocol. Presumably there's a document somewhere that says how they run their tip lines. We've never been provided that. We were able to find a YouTube in which an FBI agent described what was going on. The FBI didn't even send me their YouTube of how they do it. It was just Stonewall. And then once you get through the Stonewall, the next step is the briefing, which leaves you with no paper record. And then once you've gotten through the briefing, they, assuming you're continuing to torment them through this whole process, you then get a document dump, but the document dump is offered on the condition that you not disclose any of it, which makes it useless. And then you end up having to finally get your hands on documents. And these are not investigative individual documents. These are policy statements. These are the operating protocols, which are presumably available through a FOIA. And I'm now, I can't tell you how many months it is into this, and I agree with Senator Kennedy. I don't think it's the Democratic administration. I don't think it's, there were areas when it was the Republican administration, I would say, but I think what we're really up against is the bureaucracy that doesn't want to respond to congressional oversight, period, end of story. And they're just hunkered down, and they got a lot of strategies for pushing us off, fending us off, delaying us, and hoping that the clock runs out, including this preposterous OLC determination the Department of Justice made that all of our pending requests vanish at the end of a Congress. They didn't bother to tell us that. They just let the Congress happen. And I mean, it's just, I share the frustration I think many of us are feeling.
Thank you, Senator Whitehouse. I'd like to turn to the nominations that I announced previously. First, we have Leonard Stark nominated for the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals. He has served the District of Delaware as Magistrate Judge and District Court Judge, Chief Judge for the District of Delaware, and has presided over thousands of civil and criminal cases. He has a special expertise in patent law, which commends him for this position with the Federal Circuit Court of Appeals. Does anyone seek recognition to speak on Judge Stark's nomination? Senator Coons.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd just briefly like to offer my wholehearted support for Judge Stark. I've known him for many years. He's a proud graduate of the University of Delaware. He was a Rhodes Scholar. He studied at Yale Law School. But more importantly, he has tremendous experience as a district court judge. He has presided over thousands and thousands of patent cases, and I believe will make an excellent judge on the Federal Circuit. He has a wealth of experience, great character, and a strong intellect, and I look forward to our proceeding to advance him out of this committee today. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
If no one else seeks recognition on favorably reporting the nomination of Leonard Philip Stark to be U.S. Circuit Judge for the Federal Circuit, the clerk will call the roll.
Mr. Leahy. Aye. Mrs. Feinstein.
Aye by proxy.
Mr. Whitehouse. Aye. Ms.